So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 49 discussion of Kaiju 8 or Monster number 8. So Chapter 49 came out yesterday, and as always I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, yeah, go take a look at it. So Chapter 49, yeah, this was a pretty intense chapter. As you recall, in Chapter 48, Monster number 8 and Narumi had defeated both versions of Monster number 9, and with that they felt that the battle was completed. However, what we find out at the end of Chapter 48 is that there was another version of Monster number 9, and that version had infiltrated into the headquarters to confront Commander Shinomiya and take away his monster powers. And this left us in a cliffhanger in Chapter 48 and a tremendous amount of dread with regards to the future of Commander Shinomiya. And what we find in Chapter 49 is that feeling of anxiety and dread continues. With regards to the plot, there isn't a tremendous amount of plot in this chapter. This is all about action and about emotion. But of the small amount of plot, we do find out that this version of Monster number 9 is the original. The other versions that Monster number 8 and Narumi defeated were clones, and because of that, they were the lesser powerful versions. This version is the powered up version of Monster number 9, the new Monster number 9. And he has planned all of this to be able to obtain Commander Shinomiya's powers that he got from Monster number 2. Now, if you recall, in Chapter 48, we find out that Monster number 9's powers are from metamorphosis. He basically can continue to change his physiology to adapt and grow with whatever challenges that he encounters. But what we also find out is that he probably can start absorbing other monsters' powers. And because of that, I'm starting to wonder if Monster number 9 will become the arch nemesis to Monster number 8. If Monster number 9 can continue to absorb powers, then he'll be able to scale his powers as Monster number 8 continues to get stronger, and so he will be the perfect arch nemesis to Monster number 8. And that may be why Naoya Matsumoto is spending so much time with Monster number 9. But in any case, why there is a tremendous amount of dread and anxiety is because of the situation that Commander Shinomiya is in. Yes, it is true, he is the most powerful member of the JDF, and he is not about to go down without a fight. And this has just started, and we will probably see several chapters of the battle. But the dread comes in the symbolisms that you see in these chapters. Basically what most manga readers and anime watchers call death flags. And there are several of them, which started with Chapter 48 but continue in Chapter 49. So there are many different indications that give clues that there may be a possible death in the future with Commander Shinomiya. The first one comes in Chapter 48 when Commander Shinomiya told Kikoru, his daughter, that she did well. And this is very unusual, and of course this shocked Kikoru because of the fact that, yeah, Commander Shinomiya is a hard ass, and he is especially hard with his daughter. Knowing the backstory of Commander Shinomiya's wife or Kikoru's mother, you understand exactly why he is such a hard ass, because he does understand just how dangerous the front lines are when battling monsters. And so Kikoru has always experienced the hard side of the father. And it is the first time in Chapter 48 that Commander Shinomiya compliments his daughter. And of course, this symbolizes the passing of the torch. Basically, Commander Shinomiya is stepping aside to let Kikoru Shinomiya come into the limelight. But with that, of course, Commander Shinomiya steps back into the shadows, and this potentially can mean that he is going to be leaving. There is closure to the relationship he has with his daughter. Now, the second death flag comes from the actual dream team. This dream team between Narumi and Monster Number 8 was one that Commander Shinomiya has always wanted to create. And with that, of course, this creates another closure to Commander Shinomiya's life, which is basically he has finally obtained the team that he has always wanted to see. And of course, when that is combined with the final scene that we see in Chapter 48, it created a tremendous amount of dread. Now, Chapter 49 doesn't do anything to relieve that, and in fact, it makes it even more so by other symbolic scenes that you see. One being this scene of Kikoru Shinomiya realizing that her father's life is in danger, and for the first time runs to her father to try to save his life. We have seen this in many other animes, and we have often seen that once that bonding comes out and once that dread of knowing one of your loved ones is in dire trouble, you often see the outcome being very negative. A good example of that is Ruby, for example, going to rescue Pyrrha in the third season of Ruby. And the final symbolic image actually comes in the very last page of Chapter 49, which I won't show here because this is a chapter you definitely need to read by yourself to get the full impact of what is going on in these chapters. Because whatever happens, this is going to be a serious outcome. I don't think there is going to be an easy outcome to this. This is also seen in the balance of the battle. If you recall, Narumi and Monster 8's battles were very easy, almost to the point of being too easy. And this is often then counterbalanced with something that will be very difficult later on, usually a twist in the story, which is what we're seeing now. And so if the previous battles have been that easy, then it's usually counterbalanced with something that will be seriously dangerous in the future. And so all of this is pointing towards a very dark outcome for Commander Shinomiya, and of course that is creating the anxiety. Now, what is one saving grace to all of this is the act of God for this comic, which of course is the writing style of the author, Naoya Matsumoto. You see, Naoya Matsumoto is creative in many ways, but his writing style is not the type that creates a tremendous amount of tragedy. If this was somebody like Yukito Kishiro from Battle Angel Alita, or Kentaro Miura from Berserk, or Hiroya Oku from Gantz, yeah, Commander Shinomiya is dead. He is basically dead. Absolutely. But this is Naoya Matsumoto. And from everything that I've read so far, I haven't ever seen a tragic moment in any of his stories. Of course, I have only read 2 of his stories, one being Monster 8 and the other being Pochikuro, which if you haven't read, I would seriously recommend. But Pochikuro is a comedy. It's a really whacked out comedy, but it is a comedy, so you don't expect tragedy to occur. And so far, Monster 8 has been still in its early chapters, so for all we know, Naoya Matsumoto may be turning a new leaf because this is a much more serious story than his previous one. But I am hoping that Naoya Matsumoto still stays within his character, and maybe that will be the one major saving grace to Commander Shinomiya. But whatever the case, even if he does survive this incident, I think this is a passing of the crown. This is going from Commander Shinomiya to Kikoru, which means that even if he survives, he will probably be so injured that he probably will never be able to go out into the field in the future. And I got a feeling Monster Number 9 will be able to successfully steal Commander Shinomiya's Monster Number 2 powers. And so it'll be interesting to see how this battle goes. I hope none of the death flags turn out to be real, but there is only one way to find out, which is to continue reading as the chapters come out, and once chapter 50 comes out, I will bring up another video, whatever happens in that chapter. And I hope you join me at that time. But this is the Chapter 49 discussion for Master number 8. Thank you very much for listening. And until the next episode, happy manga reading. And as always, Jaya Neste, everyone.